Picking the right kind of yoga can be extremely challenging for chronic pain because a lot of yoga classes honestly move very fast and go way too deep into stretches. Today is your lucky day though, because I have a restorative yoga sequence just for you and especially designed for chronic pain. Hey there everyone, my name is Elaine Ouyang. I am a certified yoga therapist bringing you pain care strategies and yoga therapy practices to help you create a life of resilience. Now, if you're not familiar with restorative yoga, it is a style of yoga where we're gathering all the pillows and blankets and props that you have at home to support your body to help the muscle tension release. So what you will need today is a couple of cushions, or if you have one, a yoga bolster, some blankets, up to 2 or 3 to help you get cozy and comfortable, and either a bed or somewhere comfortable on the floor in your house. The idea is that you feel safe, warm, and comfortable for the practice. Before we get started, make sure you grab your free Pain Care Yoga Starter Toolkit where you get daily videos and pain care strategies in bite-sized format to help you start your pain care journey today. Now, I know you'll probably get really relaxed at the end of this video and maybe fall asleep, which is completely fine and totally encouraged. But if you do enjoy it, please be sure to hit subscribe below and share with someone you know who could benefit from these really gentle and restorative yoga practices. Now let's begin. Something like a bolster or maybe some stacks of blankets that can stack up fairly high and have some length to it. You'll also need something for your head, like a blanket, folded blanket, or a pillow. If you have extra propping, what you can do is, and I'll show you in a bit, is to have maybe another pillow or some rolled blanket by your side. And I'll show you what this is for. Okay. So just watching first. You're gonna come onto your side. Doesn't matter which side, whichever side feels more comfortable and more appealing for you first. And you're gonna place your upper leg onto this bolster or stack blanket or whatever propping that you prepare for yourself, so that your leg from your knee down to your ankle is supported. Okay, so if your foot kind of dangles off the end a little, that's okay. But if your half your lower leg is dangling off, this is not preferable. So have something where you can at least support from the knee down to your ankle. If your foot dangles a little, that's okay. And you want your knee to be hiked up a little bit so that it's in the same line, same height as your hips. Okay. Your leg also not so far that you're being pulled out in this direction, nor so close in where you feel squished in your hips and legs and body. Okay, so just at that sweet spot, you might have to kind of play around with it. And then your other leg is on the floor, straight-ish. Don't use leg muscle to try to keep it straight. Just kind of extend it down. And once it's straight-ish, you can relax your leg. So this is the first pose. If you have additional propping, what you can do is make a little kind of a hugging prop for your arms. It might feel better for your arms and shoulders if you do have any tension in your shoulders there. Okay, so we're going to stay here for 2 to 3 minutes. Again, you can come out whenever you need to. To come out, you just simply push things away and you can curl up on your side or come onto your back. Okay, now after this, I'm going to show you the second pose now because we're going to go directly into that pose. After we do this for a couple minutes, you're going to stay on the same side and press this bolster or propping away from underneath your knees so that your leg is now on the floor like this. Again, still pretty hiked up, not a little bit more, so that your knee is somewhere between your wrist and elbow. And I'll say it again later. So if you're like, I can't remember all these alignment things, then don't worry, I'll say it again all later. So knee is between your wrist and elbow, and again, that other leg is straight-ish. I'm going to use something, maybe you can use some blankets or some bolster if you use that bolster. I'm going to place it behind me and then have my hand on my waist. I'm not crossing my thumb back. I'm keeping my thumb and my 4 other fingers in the same direction. And then as I exhale, I'm going to let my body roll back. So it's a upper spine twist. It should not, especially if you line yourself up correctly, it should not twist your lower back. If you feel any tension in your lower back, bend your bottom leg more, okay, and then slide it forward a little bit, and prop up a little higher behind you so that your elbow will come up a little higher. You might have some more propping underneath you so you're not twisting as far back, okay, if you feel any tension in your lower back. And if you know that this twist might not be the best thing for you, you can just stay in for maybe 20 seconds to 30 seconds and come out of it by rolling out to the side and just waiting for us to finish on that side. Okay, so we'll get set up with the first one. I'm gonna pick a side to lie down on, have something to support your leg, and if you have extra propping, something that you can wrap your arms around. And if you need some help finding what you have in your house to use as these yoga props, let me know. If you see me looking away onto the side, just have my other device set up here where I can see everyone. Okay, so you're gonna lie down on your side. Your top leg is going to lean onto support, either bolster or some folded blankets or some firm cushions. So that it's it's about the same height as your hip. Your knee also hiked up, so that's the same line as your hip. Okay, so the knee can be slightly sloping down from this high point of your hip, okay, but not so far down it's like dangling. And make sure that the propping is supporting the majority of the length of your lower leg. Your other leg, the one that is on the floor, you can extend that to a straight-ish position and let that relax. If you have extra propping, extra blankets or pillows, you can roll that up and hold it between your arms. It's almost like you're just taking a nap here. You can close your eyes if you like and let your leg, the one that is being supported on the prop, to rest, soften, lean down. You're not pushing into that propping, but just really allowing your leg to become heavy. Your breath is natural and easy. Whatever feels most natural for you, you breathe into that area. This particular pose has a potential effect to soften and resolve tension that is deeply embedded into the lower spine, in particular into the sacrum and tailbone region. Here we are fully supporting your leg on this one side. And because your leg is supported, those deep, complex layers in your hips, glutes, lower back, lower belly can all take a rest for a moment here. Rarely do they get a moment of rest, even when you sit. They have to engage somewhat to keep your upper body upright, keep your torso upright. When you stand, they are engaged to keep your trunk upright and standing. And so in this position, we are consciously and intentionally allowing your leg, hip and lower back, and all the deeper tissues and muscles in there, down there, to soften just for a moment. You allow the pose to have an effect on you. Once you're in the pose, there is nothing else you need to do. If you do need to come out of the pose early, then you slide your bottom leg up so your knees are stacking and just stay curled up on your side, or you can curl on your back. Otherwise, we'll rest here for a few more breaths. And another 2 or 3 breaths here. And then as you exhale, going to remove that propping from underneath your bent leg so that that leg comes down to the floor. Then you want to make sure this bent knee is hiked up so that it comes up somewhere between your wrist and elbow. This will ensure that you don't twist and bend from your waist, okay? Especially if you have any lower back pain or issues down in the lower spinal area. We don't want to twist in the lower back. This will help ensure that your lower back stays stable when you bring this knee up, okay, between your wrist and elbow. And your straight leg, it remains on the floor in a straight-ish position. You can prepare some propping behind you for your elbow to lean onto. And then place your right hand or your upper hand on your waist, on your belly, not crossing back. Just lay it over the front of your waist. And when you exhale, you slowly let your body roll back and elbow lean down into the propping you've prepared. If there's any pulling, gripping sensations in your lower back or shoulder, then that's an indication that you may need some more propping underneath your elbow. Okay, so if you want to add more propping underneath your elbow, I would actually recommend coming all the way out of the pose, curl up on the side, push up, stack some more things behind you, and then lie back down and set the pose up from the beginning. Otherwise, again, you allow the pose to have an effect without you needing to do anything further, without the need to accomplish anything. Gently allowing this pose to resolve any tension and tightness through your rib cage and upper back and shoulders. So you let your neck relax too. And if your head rolls over towards your bent knee side, then that's okay. In this position, you're massaging that space just behind your heart in between your shoulder blades. And we're not really looking for a stretch or strong sensation. We're looking for release. And release is so subtle that sometimes it can be hard to feel it. So if you're not feeling anything, it does not mean that you're doing anything wrong. But rather, it's just the process itself happening slowly over time. Just like if you were to look in an ice cube that's running in the water, underwater, it's hard to tell that it is slowly melting, but it is ever so slowly. Good. Now take a few more breaths on this side. And then to come out, you're going to slide your bottom leg up first so that both of your knees are stacked. And then curl up on your side. So you bring your arm forward and you're curled up on your side again. You stay here for a moment or two. When you're ready, you can slowly press yourself up. And we're going to go to the other side, beginning with the first pose where we have your leg up on some of the propping. So you can either just turn around, roll onto the other side so you don't have to move the propping for your head, or if you want to be able to still see the screen, then you can move your head propping to the other side so you can lie down and still stay facing the screen. So again, the first one, which we will do, is having the top leg up on some propping bolsters, some stacked blankets, or some stacked cushions, with the knee hiked up so that it's the same height as your hip. And you're propping, holding and supporting the majority of your lower leg. If you have any extra pillow or blankets, you can roll it up and hold it in between your arms. And so once you've set that up, you can let yourself rest. All about rest, all about reclined position and supported positions today. Of undoing and removing layers of tension that's built up in us over time to get through our days, to accomplish tasks, to achieve, plan, and strategize, all of which creates muscular contractions. And so here, you rest, know where to go, nothing that needs to be accomplished. The pose itself will have an effect without you doing anything further. This pose allows the deeply embedded muscles and tissues down the lower spine, hips, and glute region to start to melt slowly. It is not a stretch. It is not a strengthening action, but release. And the release, just because you don't feel it, does not mean it's not happening. Just as you don't see the ice cube or ice block immediately melting, does not mean that it's not. You allow your leg to rest. Your abdomen softens. Allow yourself to feel held in such a way as if you were receiving a warm hug. And in that warm hug, your body, your entire being starts to soften. We'll take a few more breaths here, but if you do need to come out, you can push that propping away from underneath your knee and just curl up on your side or come onto your back. And then take another 2 or 3 breaths here. And then we'll go directly into our next pose. So you can push that propping away from underneath your knee so that your knee comes down to the floor. If you need, hike your knee up a little further so that it comes between your wrist and your elbow. This will help stabilize your lower back. The bottom leg can stay where it is, straight-ish and on the floor, and then bring your hand on your waist. Don't cross your thumb back. So all 5 fingers laying on top over in the front of the belly. Keep your hand there and you're just letting your elbow drop back. Okay, so keep your hand on your waist, your elbow drop back. Put more propping behind you if you need to. The more contained and supported that your body feels, the deeper the layers it gets to release into. If you do need to come out sooner rather than later, you can just take another few more breaths. Otherwise, we'll continue keeping the breath easy. Noticing how your shoulder blade naturally softens in towards the center of the spine. And as it does, it massages any tight, tense, contracted areas along the upper back. There's nowhere you need to go and nothing that needs to be accomplished. We're allowing our bodies an opportunity to undo all the layers that make us grip and contract our muscles, which then cause some discomfort and pain. Allowing that ice block, ice cube to slowly melt, trusting that it is melting. Another 2 or 3 breaths. And then on your next exhale, you're going to slide your bottom leg up first so that you're stacked in your knees. And then bring your arm forward so you're curled up on your side. That's it. When you're ready, slowly press yourself up.